first.
Well, what the governor is also saying,
because it was hit more.
The governor's saying, as an experiment, the next time one of these big buildings has to come down,
let's just light it on
fire with jet fuel,
and let's watch it come down.
No, fly a 747 into it.
No,
at that rate,
they said that
loaded with fuel.
They said it had nothing to do with the plane striking it. FEMA even acknowledged that. They said it came down from the fires. And the point I'm saying is that never before in history have steel-structured buildings collapsed because of a fire. You just had a huge fire to a skyscraper in China. It didn't collapse. You had records all over. This is a day of firsts. The first time a steel-structured building ever collapsed like that.
Right.
First.
John's a New York City cop. He wants to chime in.
The next thing.
Retired New York City cop. Governor, there was hundreds of thousands of gallons of diesel fuel stored in the basement of building number 7 that ignited and burned, and that's why the building fell down.
And that's why the building fell in 7 seconds. 7 seconds with virtually no resistance. It fell at the rate that I jump out of an airplane.
I'm talking about building number 7.
Yeah, that fell even faster than the other two. That one went down in 7 seconds. You can time it.
I don't have a degree in physics.
You don't
all I
need
know
one.
is you're not mentioning the fire that burned below building number 7.
All right. Well, Governor Jesse Ventura is writing a book on this.
Can I say one more thing? I just want to say one more thing. So what you're saying is someone in the government made a decision when there were 300 firemen up there and thousands of people in that fucking building. All Americans, someone made a decision in our government to fucking take those 2 buildings down. They hit a button and took them down.
Not necessarily. I don't know. But what I do know is this. You're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to ask any questions about it. I just did a TV pilot on this. And when we went to do it, the government wouldn't even talk to me. No government agency would speak to me. No one will even discuss 9/11. Why is 9/11 off the board? Why can't you talk about it?
Well, we're talking about it here. I mean, what if it was
This is Howard Stern.
Yeah,
nobody pays attention to me.
Oh, you're on the greatest show ever.
Let's go to Nick. Nick, go ahead. Let's go in Lake Tahoe because we're running out of time and a lot of people want to get to the governor. Go ahead.
Thanks, Howard. Hey, Jesse, what was the worst thing that you saw in what was the thing that made you sick the most?
I didn't see that much. I got in on the tail end of Vietnam. You know, we were already in a withdrawal mode. I didn't graduate from high school till 1969. By the time I went through SEAL training and SEER school and SEAL cadre and jump school, I deployed February of 71. So we were already withdrawing. So I really didn't see that many horrific things over there. In fact, I spent 2 months sitting with the Marines off the coast of Hanoi because we were threatening a Normandy invasion, to where we were going to invade Hanoi because they had backed out of the peace talks and all of that stuff that was going on. So there's guys that saw 20 times worse than what I ever did. I was fortunate. I was too young.
Right.
But by the time I got there, the war was completely winding down.
You never had you never went through like post-traumatic stress syndrome and all that because you didn't see the super horrors that some of these guys saw.
No, I did not, and I admit that. No, I did not.
All right. Well, listen, you have said it all.
So what was the worst thing you ever saw in wrestling, then?
Oh, my God.
Hulk Hogan's penis.
Well, no. Actually, the worst thing was when at the old Chicago amphitheater in South Chicago, we had one time they had the balcony, which was at street level, and everything was like down below. Had a guy walk down on the balcony, was mad at the referee, shot 4 rounds, missed the referee, and hit 3 people at ringside.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Turned around and walked out of the building, and they never caught him.
You're kidding. No, none of this was filmed. None of this.
Nothing. He walked down. He was pissed at the ref, pulled a gun out, was trying to shoot the referee, but he was a bad shot.
But there were many witnesses. There was a description.
Well, who's going to grab him? Guy's shooting a gun. You going to tackle him, Howard?
But I know I'm saying the cops. I mean, you got a description of the guy.
But they never, to my knowledge, they never caught him. But that was the worst I saw. Was when I seen these poor fans getting carted out on stretchers. Fortunately, no one died. You know, they were all just flesh wounds, and nobody was fatal on any of it. But that was about the worst thing that I've ever heard of in wrestling, was where a fan shot 3 people at ringside.
Do you feel if Hulk Hogan came in here and showed us his penis, and it was very big, that would
well, put it this way. Put it this way.
Yes.
I'll bet you today he's taking as many of those penis enlargement pills as he did steroids. I'll bet that. What is that stuff called that they always advertise on TV? Make you bigger?
Elongate.
Whatever.
Extend.
Ah, there you go.
Pop longer.
I'll bet you he's dealing in that today.
You say he's under 4 inches?
I don't know. I've never seen him erect.
You never got him aroused?
No, I've never seen him aroused. So.
Jesse, wait a minute. You're saying that Hulk Hogan, governor, I'm sorry. You're saying Hulk dealt steroids?
He didn't deal them, but if you needed them, you got them from him. I bought testosterone from him.
So that's what a dealer is.
Well, in those days, we didn't view it that way. It was, in those days...
Everyone was helping everyone.
If you didn't... The business itself almost forced you to take steroids. There was one point I wrestled 63 consecutive nights in a row.
Jesus.
And now the people see you on TV, you're posing and all that. What happens when you get to the building and you weigh 220?
Did you see
because you're so beaten up. So really, the indictment should be against wrestling itself, not the steroid use. Wrestling itself almost forces you to use them.
Did you see the movie The Wrestler?
No, I haven't yet. I've been in Mexico.
I'm shocked. I mean, that's a movie you should see.
I know. I'll get to it. But
stars Mickey Rooney.
No, well, actually, that story, from what I've heard about it, is very much Jake the Snake Roberts.
Is that right?
Yeah, because if you go see Barry Blaustein did a great documentary called Beyond the Mat.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And Jake the Snake is featured in that, right. And it's really about him because Jake had a horrible relationship with his daughter.
Right.
Jake went through a lot of drug problems. He had his ups and downs of his career and all that.
Sad movie.
So I feel that the movie is. I haven't seen it, but from what I've read about it, it reminds me a great deal of Jake the Snake.
I mean, you've had an amazing career. You're a smart guy. You were able to elevate yourself. But you know, that is a scary part of wrestling. I'm sure even when you went into it, you see some of the old timers, and they don't have any money.
Oh yeah, well, because there's no retirement, there's no anything, and guess who tried to unionize, and guess who got slapped down to the ground.
Unions get a bad rap nowadays from people, but and I was in a bunch of unions even before show business. But some places you got to have a union, man. If you had done that, Iron Sheik walks around limping right now, and he's got no money.
Yeah, Iron Sheik comes in here.
You know what I mean?
He's down on his luck.
He's one of many.
Yeah.
You know, remember something: wrestlers are not financial planners.
Right. No. Neither are comedians.
You know, we don't know. We're not educated to what to do with your money, how to invest it, and things of that nature. I could tell you hundreds of wrestlers who don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of today.
And they
made a lot of money.
Shame.
But there's no benefits. I remember when I was wrestling, I had to pay my own health care. It was $5,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now, if we had a union, we could buy... It would probably drop it to $1,500 a year.
Absolutely.
And that's what I was fighting for, benefits, health care, and things like that. But apparently Hogan didn't think that was a worthwhile cause.
Sam, listen, you got the last question. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Howard, Governor Jesse, love you, read your book. Did you ever end up picking up your jet skis from Pedro?
Yes.
That's a reference to your first book, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. I drove up there with 3 buddies and 2 pickup trucks. We made it in 3 days, a day and a half up. How do you know about Pedro?
I read the book. I told you. Yeah.
Okay, no, he was a Mexican guy that I drive. The road was so bad it beat the crap out of the trailer, so my wife wanted to push him off a cliff, and I said, I'm not doing that. I'll give him to a Mexican first. So I pulled into his place, and he had me back. We couldn't even communicate, but we were able to, and he had me back under a shed. He put 2 rocks by the wheels, and he said, my friend, they will be here whenever you return. And sure enough, I came back in 2 weeks, and they were still sitting under the same shed.
You don't speak Spanish?
No.
Why don't you learn Spanish?
You're
trying. You're trying. It's hard to learn.
Yeah, I got to take that Rosetta Stone shit and all that.
I didn't know we could ask Jesse anything. Hey, did you ever get your long-nosed pliers back from Ron?
Jeff the Drunk, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I just want to tell you that every interview you do is good.
That's very nice,
Good
Jeff.
interview.
This is a guy who sits around listening all day.
It means a lot to him.
Let me throw that back and say, and I say this in all sincerity, Howard is one of the best guys that's interviewed me.
Thank you.
No, you really are.
It's an honor to hear
you and Larry King.
Yeah, Larry's a good interview.
I love Larry because Larry allows you to talk.
Right.
He doesn't cut you off. When he asks you a question, he allows you to answer
The problem with talk shows, for the most part, is there's not a whole lot of content, is there?
Well, here's the problem. The host of the show wants to be the star.
Right.
Larry's smart. Larry knows his game.